Welcome back to the Rogues Gallery. This is space. Or deep sky, I guess. So before we start, I should say a bit of a disclaimer. This game is still in early access. It's about 2/3 of the way complete from what I've played. I wouldn't recommend it based just on that. Otherwise, it's kind of solid. But first thing we gotta do is choose our crew. Now, character death is actually not permanent in this game. So I was originally going to draft people from the thread, but since characters never change, it won't matter. So instead, I'm going to go with 3 amigos. Martin Short, Steve Martin, and obviously the classic Chevy Chase. So we have a few different classes to choose from. Tracker is damage. Bruiser's tank, could also put out some decent damage. Technician is good against machines and healer of shields. Medic is a healer of health and shields and good against biological stuff. Leaders are mostly buffers. And then scrappers are debuffers and area attack, and also moneymakers. So all that said, I found that the best team is really Scrapper, Bruiser, and Technician. Play this team if you want to break the game. You also can choose a special ability. So for these guys, I'm gonna go with aggressive for the Bruiser. And I'm thinking neurotic for everyone else. We'll start. Oh, we can also choose hardcore mode, which means if you all die, it's over. I guess we should. There's not a lot of difficulty right now. I've heard enough. So our job as a salvager is to explore old derelicts, find the navigational consoles in each of them, and use that data to find the mothership. The mothership is not actually in the game right now, but, you know, in theory, we would find it eventually. Now there's all this stuff around here. The only place we're going to go right now is the lair. Here we can pick up contracts, which are basically side quests. They're either find someone or gather a certain amount of X material. Like, 2 of them I just took are find 3 robot heads and then find 5 worm husks. And this is the galaxy. It's not very big. We have our choice of Rex to go to, but the one we really want is the only one that's level 1. And here we are. So this game works kind of similar to Darkest Dungeon. Not that I've played Darkest Dungeon, but we open our PDA here, and we have a giant derelict to go through. So right now we don't see a lot. We can move around a bit. Moving costs EP, which we have 1,000 of to start. But what you really want to do is scan, which will tag everything in a radius. Now we can see this thing over here. It's a signal. It could be an enemy or it could be something nice. It's the Trash Man, Danny DeVito himself. So this guy wants us to find a place to put his trash. You also might have noticed a red triangle that appeared briefly. Those are wandering enemies. I don't know where that dude got to. Oh, here. Alright, so part 2 of this game, combat. This game works off cards. So every combat start, you're dealt, I think, 4 cards, and they represent your abilities. So my man Technician here has a very good ability called Shield Boost. You can drop on an ally, it'll boost their shield. Now, this is important because there are 2 health tracks in this game. One is shields, which recharge at the start of every combat, and 2 is health, which requires surgery, aka money, to heal. Alright, Martin Short's up. He is our scrapper. So he has a melee weapon, a glove, and a gun. He can also craft supplies, which means draw cards. His main good ability is Dirty Punch, which is a debuff. It does damage and applies a 33% miss chance per turn. All these abilities can be upgraded with levels, and you can get new abilities. We'll get into that later. And now, our man Steve Martin, the Bruiser. He doesn't have his signature card, so we're just gonna smash this lizard. Debuffs and buffs play a very large part in combat. You can see this guy's been bashed, so he has -5 initiative. Dirty punched. But he buffed himself, so he's doing a little bit better. Looks like everyone's doing fine, so we'll have Chevy Chase shoot. Enemies also work off cards. If you click on them, you can see the cards in their hand. So he's got an attack card, and then looks like probably a buff card. Who cares, though? So at level 1, there's not a lot of nuance to combat. Because of the card system, there is a fair amount of luck involved, although you can rig your deck so you get the cards you want most of the time. So we got nothing to do here, we'll end our turn. And then finish this dude off. We get some loot. We got an energy cell, which gives us more energy, and scrap. Scrap is one of the main kinds of loot in the game, just miscellaneous junk. It's all there just for selling. Fun thing about the scrapper, too. The scrapper gives you more loot. He's actually really good because he will make you very rich, just having him in your party. Hey, we got an energy blade. Nobody can use that. So these horizontal lines are loot. You go over there, you search, you get stuff. Alright, we got some worms here, let's take care of them. So I'm not sure how many derelicts I'll do. I'm thinking just one, because this game does take a bit of time to play. I would like to show off higher levels, but not that much. Provoking Strike is the Bruiser's main ability. It basically makes everything attack you. It draws aggro, if you will. So the reason this team is so strong is because the Technician can heal shields. So you have the Bruiser draw aggro, you continually heal his shields, and then you're just set. Nothing can really hurt you. What do we got? More scrap. And there are a lot of dudes on this ship. Technician can also play disrupt cards. When you disrupt someone, you restrict access to certain cards. So I'm going to restrict her melee. So she shot me instead, sure. Let's see if we can get another dirty punch. We will detect vulnerabilities, which will give us a buff and damage. And get my man's shields back up again. Another dirty punch. So these will stack, I believe. No, they just extend the turn. My bad. One thing about this game, there are a lot of status effects, and there's nothing that actually tells you what those status effects do. You just kind of have to figure it out. Alright, we got a shield core mod and a medical tool. One of those is useless, but the shield core mod. So there are two types of things. There are the main weapon slash tool slash core, and then there are mods. So I can equip this mod to probably the bruiser. And he gets plus 2% damage resistance. So that's not super exciting. What is exciting is that most of those will give you more cards in your deck that do different stuff. Also, it is very expensive to move around right now at this low level. Got an alien head. Here we go. Alright, so like I was saying, I just got a mod for a weaponry tool. Bruiser uses that. So now, Steve Martin's got some frag grenades. Now I know what you're thinking. Doesn't adding more cards dilute the effectiveness of like your core concept and the core cards you want to draw? Kinda, yeah. I really don't know a way around that yet. Either way, I can explore just a little bit more before I have to go back. Or not. Combat does take energy. I think you lose 10 per turn. This is working out pretty well, though. Let's see, what other beginning abilities these guys have? I said the Scrapper makes you more loot, which is very important. Technician will, one of these days, draw a card that lets him stun machines. The thing about Technician is that there's a medic class, but it's pointless as it is because the Technician is so much better. Medic doesn't even really heal health right now, he just heals shields, but Technician does it way better. The only weakness of this team right now is that I have no way to get rid of buffs or debuffs on myself or enemies. That's really the medic's job. That's the thing that you would pick him for instead of a technician. However, you can customize characters later at like level 3 and send them down specific paths to get new stuff, and one of those is some medic abilities. Alright, so we've been in here for a bit. Let's get out of here. So we're low on energy, so let's head back to the station and to the shop. Here we can refill our energy for pretty cheap usually. We can also sell our junk. And probably this energy blade, because nobody can use it. And while we're here, let's buy a big energy cell, because they tend to come in handy. I don't think anyone needs medical attention. And then I don't have enough money for research. Actually, let's check that out. So here we can improve mostly our scanner and how much energy we consume. So I'm going to go ahead and bump up scanner range. I wouldn't recommend doing that right away. I'd recommend like waiting a few ships, but in order to show stuff off, let's do it. So the game is basically about going to a ship, exploring as much as you can, wandering back, selling stuff, going back in and finishing it up. As I said, I've never played Darkest Dungeon, but I've watched people play it, and it sure seems a lot like this game. I do like the art, though. Alright, so we've got a place to put his trash. Let's go talk to Danny DeVito real quick. Alright, so much for that. I can't remember what you're supposed to do there. I mean, what else I'm supposed to feed him. Doesn't matter though, we got robots. So it's always good to just drop shield boost on the tank right away. No reason not to. Enemies do tend to attack whoever has attacked them last. Unless, of course, taunt is in play, and then they'll just attack the tank. Which is what I want, like that. So let's try one of these frag grenades. As you might expect, area attacks do slightly less damage, but, you know, hit up more people. I think I've seen up to like 5 enemies on the screen at once, so... Area attack will hit 3 people, so it's not always the best, but it's pretty good. So I got a weapon that will disrupt. Disrupt restricts cards, as I think I said before. There's another status called Radiation, which prevents people from healing. Stun makes them lose a turn. And I think those are the big ones. There are certain aspects that can show up on ships, like low gravity or magnetic, but we probably won't see any of those. Got another janitor head. Need those for a quest. And now, as you'll see, my scan goes much further. What do we got? Ranged weapon mod. I believe our scrapper uses a ranged weapon. So now he's got some grenades. Notice how my cards are getting, well, numerous. You could say that there's a plethora of cards. Can I actually make it out of here? Kinda. Yeah, let's do that. So eventually I'll become sufficient enough where I won't have to run back to base and, well, more than once or twice. But in the very first ships, you're going to do that a lot. Let's get your shields back up. And then EMP grenade is not great against people without shields, which turn up fairly often. This guy off, and then resume our trip back to the ship. Oh hey, we got an actual weapon. Alright. So, right now, our scrapper is using an assault weapon. We're going to switch it out with a spread range weapon. It does a lot more damage, as you'll notice. We will also give our man another grenade. And put on this Power Glove mod. It's bad. Also, I'm going to need to use one of those canisters. That's why you should always have at least one on hand. Or more. Anyway, we can try out our new weapon. If he draws it. Explosive grenade, good enough. Here we go. So yeah, higher level weapons are definitely what you want to find in ships. There are some available for purchase from shops, but that is a bad idea. Don't ever do that. You're gonna find good stuff in ships eventually. Unless you're running a team with absolutely no scavenge points. In which case then, maybe buy something, but if you have a scavenger or a scrapper in your party, you really don't have to worry about it. Everyone's looking pretty good here. Don't need any of this stuff. I'm not exactly sure what Stagger does. Supposedly it forces them to discard a card, but I don't know about that. I've seen some weird stuff. Well, let's talk about boost. Actually, I don't have energy. Never mind. Let's not talk about boost. Oh, we're getting close. And again, that's why you buy the energy cells. You should also probably buy trap kits, which are also on sale. However, those won't be needed until you get to the second tier of Derelict. So let's sell some of this stuff. Kind of need those. Don't care about this stuff. Fill up. Head back. So I wouldn't say this game is very... Well, the way I'm playing is not difficult. I suppose if you pick different characters, it'd be harder. I also suppose more exciting. I think it's a solid game, definitely, but it's not super engaging, at least super exciting. It is easy to waste time in. Like, I can just play this for a long time, and I have. But it's not... I don't know. Not exciting, I guess. The thrill of turn-based combat does not do it for me. It's really all about the grind. It's the Skinner box. Move around, hit stuff, get better stuff, do it again and again and again. But hey, hopefully after this fight we'll level up. We'll get to show that off. Damn, I'm fucking people up. Chevy Chase. Not Chevy Chase. Who is it? Steve Martin? Always knew Steve Martin was a badass. You could tell. Small frame, but a killer. Sorry, that's Martin Short. I'm thinking of Martin Short. It's in his name. Alright, so we're leveling up. I didn't talk about these stats here, but if we look at them, weaponry, how hard you hit, tech, shield stuff, medical, medical cards, scavenging is more loot and also scavenging cards, and then mental is mostly buffs. So, now we have some ability points. So for right now, I'm going to give him more scavenging, because that's always good, and a better dirty punch. 42% miss chance instead of 33. Not bad. For the bruiser, another provoking strike card, and more damage on it. And I'm thinking, you know what, let's get some damage resistance. Probably not necessary. And for technician, just shield boost all the way. I want as many shield boost cards as I can get. They are very good. Alright, we're set. Hey, datapad. This is where you get the lore. The guy's just waxing poetic about giant ships, as we all should. So occasionally you run into merchants on ships. I have never bought from them. I've never really needed to. Seems like a bad idea. I have done one complete run of this game, or when I say complete, I mean I've done as much game as there is. Oh man, this could be kind of bad. Oh no, not terrible. This guy gets tougher in different ships, but here he seems to be okay. So he's our first boss. Bosses aren't really a thing in this game. They're just some really tough enemies on certain ships, but they wander around. There's no big fanfare. You just kind of run into them and then pray. Most consoles are not guarded by a boss. They're guarded by some sort of trial you have to go through. This one just happens to be combat. I was going to talk about boost. So you can boost for 100 energy. It gives you 2 cards, which you can use immediately. And I will. That did not go great. Oh no, he's stunned. Alright, no turn for him. It's fine. This guy has armor. I think he's the first enemy we've seen with that. That just reduces some of your damage. Like, it takes 2 points away for this guy. Thankfully, Steve Martin's a beast. Poke him. And then one more ought to do it. Whoever can get a weapon. Really? Like that? Sure. No loot, but we do get the data. And that was our objective, so as soon as I grab this stuff over here, I'm gonna get out of here, maybe. Did I buy another energy cell? I did, okay. It's gonna be real close getting back. Ooh, this thing is worth a lot of money. Alright, let's drop some energy and book it. So I'm not sure if I'll play more. Like I said, I kind of wanted to show off higher level stuff, but that was mostly only for card variety and to show off the specializations. Basically, once you get to level 4, I believe, all characters are allowed to go onto a specialization track that is available to any character. So anyone could become a medic, anyone could become a shield master, anyone could become a chemical master, so on and so forth. And that's kind of neat. But also, you've seen pretty much everything this game has to offer by now. It's cards, you hit stuff. It's alright, not bad. So first of all, let's sell this thing we got for 3 hundos of space monies. We can report in our findings. Once we raid about 3 to 4 ships, we unlock the second tier of Derelicts, which are levels 4 to 7. But I think I'm going to call it there. That's Deep Sky Derelicts. It's alright. Bye.